FlossTube. It's Micah, the ADHD Stitcher, and this is FlossTube number 2. Today is August 28th, 2021. So this, like I said, this is my channel, the ADHD Stitcher, and I talk about stitching. FlossTube is all about some cross stitch, and sometimes I'll have some other things like crochet and that kind of stuff. But also I will talk about ADHD because that's part of my life. It's part of who I am, and so it weaves its way into pretty much everything. And occasionally I may do some separate videos about that by itself. So I want to say thank you for all of the subscribes and likes and comments on my first FlossTube. It was fun to make, and it was really fun to be able to interact with everyone throughout the week. This community is what I needed. I needed this place. There's so many great people that I can watch and I can chat with and follow on social media and all of that kind of thing. And it's fun to be in a place where people are excited about some of the things you're excited about. Because my husband tries, but he's just not excited about my cross stitch. So if you remember last week, I mentioned that my daughter had COVID. We are still quarantined, but she is doing much better. Her symptoms are gone. She just still has the little lingering cough that can sometimes stay, but it's not bad. She's doing good. We had a little bit of a scare last week where she was having trouble breathing. She was having a little bit of pain in her chest, which can come with COVID from inflammation. And it sent her into a massive panic attack, and she couldn't breathe. And so my husband rushed her to the Children's Hospital in Memphis, Bonner Children's Hospital. And thankfully, it was just a panic attack. It wasn't anything with her lungs COVID related. So when they, by the time they saw her, she was doing good. And she is much better now. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about this week was just a few ADHD basics. Because I did have a couple of people in the comments who also said that they had ADHD or had a loved one who has ADHD. And I know sometimes people who aren't familiar with what ADHD really is don't really actually have the right grasp on it. And ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. Many of the experts will say that that is a complete misnomer because ADHD isn't about having a deficit of attention. It's about having so much attention. It's not that we can't focus on anything. It's that we focus on all of the things. Everything is going to catch our attention, and we're going to see it. One of the benefits of that is often people who have ADHD are more creative. And another benefit is that we often see things as beautiful that you may not notice. We can see beauty in so many different things because we can see all the things. But really with ADHD, a lot of times we think about like a kid, like a little boy running around with tons of energy, not able to sit down. While that can be one facet of ADHD, that's definitely not all there is to it. ADHD is actually a neurodiversity. It's a physical brain difference in our prefrontal cortex. And there are some different issues with the way our neurons fire and things like that that just make our brains work differently. And there are actually also different types. Before, a few years ago, you would hear doctors say that you had ADD or ADHD. Well, now everything is ADHD, and there are 3 types. There is the inattentive type, there is the hyperactive or impulsive type, and then there's combined type. And the combined type has symptoms of both of those other 2 facets. And I'm combined type. My daughter is also combined type. And there are a lot of people who don't understand that inattentive type, don't understand those symptoms in the ways that they can pop up in our lives. And also, one thing about ADHD is that it is heavily, heavily underdiagnosed in females and in people of color. Females and people of color seem to have a harder time getting diagnosed. With females, a lot of times there are more of the inattentive symptoms, and they can be brushed off. Things like you're just too emotional, you're lazy. There's all kinds of things that you don't even think about that are actually associated with this. And I don't want to make this is a FlossTube video. I don't want to go completely down the ADHD rabbit hole. So I'm going to stop there with kind of that, dive into some symptoms and things like that. But just quickly wanted to give some resources if you don't know much about it, or you know someone with it and you could benefit from knowledge about it. Some really good resources to learn about ADHD are Attitude Magazine. It's ADD Magazine, or attitudemag.com is their website, and they also do a really good podcast with experts pretty often. Another good resource is CHAD. That's Children and Adults with Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, and they also have a website. I think it's chad.org. I'll try to link all these in the bottom. A really good YouTube channel that's fun to watch, has not too long videos that cover all kinds of different things, is How to ADHD. And that is by Jessica McCabe, and she does an amazing job. She has ADHD herself, and she thoroughly researches all of her stuff with scientific studies before she makes her videos. There's a really great podcast that I love to listen to called Taking Control, the ADHD podcast. And it's Pete Wright and Nikki Kinzer. And I love that podcast so much. And then anything that you see the name Edward or Ned Hallowell. Dr. Hallowell is an amazing ADHD expert. He has written tons and tons of books about ADHD. He's on lots of things about it. So anything he's on, that's going to be good. And soon I hope to do a video just kind of about my ADHD story, explaining, you know, how we figured out that I had it, how I got diagnosed, all that kind of stuff. And one thing too, before I make that video, I wanted to ask, do you have questions about ADHD? You know, any questions that you have about it, anything at all, symptoms, you know, whatever. Feel free to put those in the comments, and I will work on addressing those when I do a video focused on ADHD. Okay, so now stitching. Yay, we're 8 minutes in and we're finally to stitching. So I brought some more of my previous works to show you. Sorry. In our bathroom, well, in the kids' bathroom, it's kind of a beach theme. I love the beach. I love getting to go to the beach. It's so much fun. So I did a few years ago several different hoops that are arranged together up on the wall in the kids' bathroom. And I will try to insert a picture so you can see what it looks like when they're all hanging up. But they're different things like this one. Some coral. I found this somewhere on Etsy. I don't remember where, because it was many years ago. So, but I got this. That's one that I did. I did coral. I also did this little seahorse and sea turtle. Now these two, I got the silhouette patterns on Etsy, and then I added in the stripes behind them. And I just chose colors for the kind of things that I was wanting to have in the bathroom that would go kind of with what the vibe I had going. It's a little starfish. I think I made him up myself. I just looked at a picture of a starfish and did that one. fact, I think I kind of made it up as I stitched and just frogged what I didn't like. And this is the one I'm the most proud of, because this is a pattern that I did on my own. I drew out, I don't remember if I used the design software that I have, which is Max Stitch, or if I did it on graph paper. I may have just done it on graph paper. But I drew out the mermaid tail, and I'd picked some colors that I liked because I wanted it to be kind of variegated, but I didn't have variegated floss. So I just picked colors that I thought would be kind of mermaidish. And I just kind of did them as I went. I think I kind of made a base plan. But then on top of that, if you can see good, all the little scales, that took a really long time, but I'm very proud of them. Not all of them are perfect. Like some of here are a little sketchy. But I did those with green metallic floss. It's DMC 5269. This stuff is really rough to work with. If you use metallic floss from DMC on a project, I suggest using very small, very short lengths, because it will kind of wear. If you use like a big long length, like I like to stitch with longer lengths, but it will wear and it will look crazy. But so yeah, I was really proud of all that detail in there that I just kind of made up as I went. And one thing that I've considered doing is turning some of these things that I've done on my own like this, and then I've actually had a few other ideas too, but actually turning them into patterns on my design software, and maybe putting them in my Etsy shop. I think my Etsy shop is actually closed right now because there's nothing in it. I haven't done anything with it in a while. But so that's something that I've considered. What do y'all think? Would y'all be interested in that kind of stuff? Or do you think people would be interested in that kind of stuff? Because that's the thing. I don't want to put the time into getting it put into a chart. It doesn't even matter. But, so that's one of the things I've been considering doing, was selling some of those patterns that I've done, just created over the years for myself. Let's see. So, like I said, I have all of those. Those are all, sorry if that just made noise. I accidentally set this on that table. Forgot. So I have these all just together, arranged on the wall, like I said. I'm going to try to post a picture. Try to post a picture below, or to the side, or whatever, so that you can see how they look on the wall. But that's another example of some of the things that I've done. And wow, I see dust again. This isn't good. I've got to dust these things that I pulled out. I knew I should have lint rolled it before I started this video, because I started moving it and dust went everywhere. I was like, before I started filming, I'm like, there's not dust flying, right? Okay, we're good. I should have lint rolled them before I started filming. Now I know. Okay, so let's look at some whips. There are also new starts. Well, actually, one new start, and one was a whip that y'all saw last week that I'd started on. I showed you this one last week. It's the Linen and Threads 2021 Mystery Sampler Talavera. And I was starting at the beginning, and, you know, they've already got up to August out, so I'm way behind. And last time I just had not even this part of the border, just the lines of the border started. I didn't have them done yet. But this week, as I said before, since we've been stuck at home, I've been able to do a lot of stitching. And I got the full border done, well, the full outline of the border done, and started on my first square today. So it's been rolled up, so it's all wrinkled. But so there is the border. You just can't see it all because of the Q-snap. And then that is what I've been doing with the tile. Here's the tile. That's the tile right there that I'm currently doing. And if you remember, last time I showed you 3 colors I was going to use. I actually today, when I was looking at the colors some more from what I had started working on, I decided I needed another color. I usually try to keep designs with an odd number of colors. One thing about me that I haven't talked about yet is that I actually have a degree that was focused on interior design. So I did a lot of design classes and things in college. I didn't ever work in the design field because we moved to a very small town that didn't have anything like that available and was too far away to try to work in the industry. But I've used it in my own house a lot. So, but there's a design principle that things look better in odd numbers. You know, if you have a little vignette, sometimes I like things symmetrical, but I still will have an odd number. So it may be something on this side and something on this side and one thing in the middle. Or if you like it, sometimes I also like things uneven. It just depends on the situation. But typically, rule of thumb, things look better in an odd number to the eye when you're designing things. But I decided that I didn't like having, since I had kind of like a darker blue and a lighter blue, almost kind of turquoise-ish. You can't really tell here the way it's showing up. But, and then I had the darker pinky coral color. But I decided it might look good with a light one too. So it was kind of like they both had their own thing going. So I had showed you last week, the darker blue is 924. These are DMC flosses. So it's 920, ooh, the light, 924. And the lighter blue is 927. And then the darker coral is 356. And then the color I added this week is 750. 754. Sorry. There. We'll just hold it there. You don't have to see the number. You can. It's just my scrappy handwriting. You probably can't read anyway. 754 is the lighter color that I'm using. And so here it is again. I'm enjoying this a lot. Which of course the borders were mindless. You just, once I got it counted and parts of it, I could just go. But it's fun for me to kind of figure out what colors I like together and what I want to go where. And two, something that I didn't even realize until I was watching some of their FlossTube videos is that Linen and Threads is the shop of Fox and Rabbit designs. And there's a Fox and Rabbit stitch tube. And they are, oh well, I've totally just forgotten their names. Brendan and, forgot her name. But husband and wife team, they're awesome. If you haven't watched their FlossTubes, you should. They've got some really beautiful stuff and they're super cute to watch together. I love it. But as I was watching some of their FlossTubes, I was like, oh, okay, this is who's doing the stitch along that I'm doing. It's good to know. But there's some YouTubers or FlossTubers that I discovered this week that I've really been liking. So that's it. Again, that's Talavera 2021 stitch along from Linen and Threads. And then my new start, which I had shown y'all that I was going to start it last week, is Witch's Dance by SubRosa Design, or designed by SubRosa. Which I bought this on Etsy, I do believe. I started on this and I thought I almost had it done, and I was like, you know what, let's just take a minute and go work on Talavera again. But this is, okay, so I've gotten that much of it done so far. I'm really liking it. It's super cute. Obviously that witch is still missing her head. So with this, it's kind of just like a little circular, well, technically square design. So I'm over halfway done with it. It's been fun to stitch. It's been an easy stitch. And okay, so this is my first time stitching on non-Aida cloth. And this is a 32 count Murano. in Rust from Zweigart that I got at Hobby Lobby. And I've really been enjoying stitching on this. So it's going to get more expensive for me, I have a feeling. Because I've always just cross-stitched on cheap Aida, which will still be, a lot of my projects will be Aida that's cheaper. I do love all this hand-dyed fabric that I'm seeing, but I just can't do that all the time. Not going to work for me. But this is nice too. This was from Hobby Lobby, and this was just $6 from Hobby Lobby. So, which of course it's not a huge piece, but they did have some cute different styles and things like that. But anyway, so I'm really enjoying stitching on this. So I can't imagine how much I would enjoy stitching on the really nice stuff. Because like I said, that's the, you know, just the cheaper. And I will probably finish that off this week. Probably. And then try to figure out how I'm going to finish it. Probably gonna attempt a pillow. We'll see what happens. I gotta pull out the sewing machine and see if I can work it. I have to call my mom, make her come help me. So yeah, so those are my only 2 whips right now. But I'm going to have some more coming soon. Now, I don't have haul for this week because it's on the way. I spent a lot of money. And I got a really fun sampler and some really cool fabric and my first fancy flosses. They're all on the way. So next week I will have all those to show you. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to start on those, to do all that. Let's see. Oh, I did get this today. I had seen them working on this. I think it's Kristen on Steel City Stitchers had been working on this. And so I picked it up. I'm so excited. I already had all the flosses I need. I need to get some Aida whenever I can get out of this house and get to the store. I can probably find some at Walmart. Won't be the best Aida, but it'll be good enough. I'm a huge fan of The Office. This is not an exaggeration. I quit counting at 17, so I'm guesstimating. I think I've watched the full series all the way through 20 times. There's 9 seasons, which the first season's only 6 episodes. But now that doesn't mean I've just fully sat down and stared at the TV and completely watched it 20 times. I'm a stay-at-home mom, so a lot of times that's my comfort show. I know it front and back, and I will put it on while I'm working on things around the house or while I'm doing something else. So it's not always, you know, full focus, but I love having it. It's like a friend. It's my happy show. If I need a lift, I go watch The Office and laugh at Michael Scott and all his silliness. And we sing a lot of, well, I sing. I like to sing Dwight's, the Schrute Family Rules song to my children. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Learn your rules. You better learn your rules. If you don't, you'll be eaten in your sleep. Okay. If you haven't ever seen The Office, yes, Dwight is a strange guy. And no, my children are not small. They're 8 and 12, so they're okay. They know I'm not really gonna eat them in their sleep. I love that show so much. It makes me so happy. It makes me smile when there's so much mess on everything right now. I love having a place to go that's my comfort spot. So I'm so excited about that. I wanted to start it like right now, but I didn't have the color Aida I needed. Down to only black. And ooh, this is an Aida that I love to use. That is not, it's cheaper. I find it at my Walmart usually, but it's not bad at all for a cheap Ada, and it's pretty. It's the DMC Charles Craft Carolina linen. It's not linen. It's a 14 count Ada, but the name is Carolina linen, and the color is sand. And I love this so very much. It's kind of, let me see if I can find a way to do this where you can, there you go. So it's like, it's not burlap, but you know what I mean. It's got that kind of a feel, like there's small flecks of different fibers in it. So it's kind of textured. Love this so much. This is not what I need for the office. For the office, I need like some ivory or something like that. Oh, here's something that I figured out this week. Blogs, they're not as popular as they used to be, but a lot of designers had them when they were really popular. And a lot of designers still have them up and have a lot of free smalls on them. For example, this is on SubRosa's blog. I love SubRosa. But like this little pillow, Hallows Eve with the ravens. You scroll down a little bit more on the page, is the chart. They, she has, well, I say she, I don't really know. They have a lot of different things, like on SubRosa. I found several. I'm sorry, I'm trying to put my computer back in. I grab things with my toes. But I'd found several different designers that still had blogs that had freebies that were super cute. So I downloaded a ton of freebies. They're probably clogging up my computer right now. But things to do for fall and for Christmas and all that kind of stuff. So that's a really good way to be able to get things that you can work on without having to go out and, you know, buy all the patterns. And some of them too, they give you enough different little elements that you can put something together and kind of make your own kind of sampler, I guess. And then another thing I did this week was I signed up for the digital subscription for Punch Needle and Primitive Stitch magazine, and I'm super excited. The new one has not released yet, but they did post pictures of the new ones, and I'm super excited. So this is going to be a future project. Let me see if I can zoom in on a little bit so you can see it better. This is SubRosa. Here to thunk it. But so that's a SubRosa design that's going to be in this month's Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, and I'm so excited. And like, I just got a 1-year subscription. Did 1-year digital. I didn't get the print because digital is way cheaper. And with the digital, you get like the 2 prior years back issues, or like this year and last year. I get you know, several of the back issues, so I can still get the patterns from those. And now if you do the physical copy, you get access to their full library. So that's really cool. You can get lots of different patterns for that. So that's been really fun, looking at that stuff. I can't wait to start stitching some of that stuff. And then, let's see. So those will be some of the things that'll be future projects. Also, I still haven't started on my TriStar. You're probably going to see a lot of little Halloween smalls popping up because I do a lot of Halloween decorating. So I'm excited to start stitching more Halloween stuff. Oh, and then I was looking through some of my old stuff that I'd forgotten I had in a different box somewhere. And I found this kit that I got a few years ago at Hobby Lobby that I just never did. I guess I got too busy that year. It's simple. It's super, super cute. I'm very excited to do that and have that out for Christmas. And it came with like it has the little plastic frame with it and everything. So that's gonna be, ooh, it's a lot of white. So there we go. So that's gonna be really fun today. I was like, hey, free project. Hey, popping in because I realized the last 2 weeks I forgot to talk about something that I need to get in here because the free sign up ends soon. So I am going to do the stitch along with Stitchonomy for their Halloween stitch along. They do these, they've done these the past 3 Halloweens, so this will be the 4th one they do, or that they've done. And if you sign up by, sorry, I'm pulling up the thing. If you sign up before September 23rd, it's free. You get the free patterns. And so I wanted to make sure that I got that out there so that if any of you see this and you're wanting to do this stitch along, that you can still get in on it while it's free. They have done this, like I said, the past 3 Halloweens, and I'm going to hold this up, but I may insert the pictures. I don't know how this is going to show. But so they've done, this is the style they've done. They're super cute. They're not huge. And this year's theme is a storybook Halloween. So I'm super excited to do this. I think this is actually when I started looking things up after watching my first couple of FlossTubes. This is the first one I found, and I love Halloween. So I was like, yes, must do. And I can't believe that I've forgotten to include that in the videos. So, it's Stitchonomy, Halloween Sal, and the website for it, to sign up is stitch-along.com/upcoming-stitch-alongs / and I'll include that link in the drop box below, in the description box below as well. But I just wanted to make sure I got in here and included that so that if anybody was wanting to jump in on that while it's still free, you can. So I also wanted to mention a couple of FlossTubers that I've been enjoying this week. I know I talked about Fox and Rabbit, and they're amazing. But some newer FlossTubers that I've been watching are the Bougie Stitchers. They are sisters, and they are hilarious because they bicker like sisters do, but they have so much fun, and I laugh so much when I watch them. It's a lot of fun. So I look forward to that every week when they come out. Which, like I said, they're new. They've had 3 episodes, but I think a new one should be coming out soon. Unless they skip a week or something. I'm not sure. I can't remember for sure what they said. But they're a lot of fun. So the Bougie Sisters, it's B-O-U-G-I-E. Stitchers, not Bougie Sisters. They say that too and they mess me up. The Bougie Stitchers. And then also, I mentioned last week that I had seen SubRosa in somebody's video and I couldn't remember who it was. It was Stitching is Elementary. And I've really enjoyed watching her stitch tubes or floss tubes as well. Stitching is Elementary. That was the other one that I really enjoyed watching. Oh, I need to show you somebody. This is Cleo. She came over here to see me, so I figured I'd show her to you. Her sister is on one of the cat trees staring at me. What, you don't want to stay here with me? What, you don't want to see FlossTube? Say hi. This is Cleo. She, I'm sorry, there you go. We adopted 2 kittens who were sisters when they were bottle babies. It's so sweet. I will try to add on, I think it was Clawdia, the other sister, when I was bottle feeding her when she was teeny tiny. It's the sweetest thing you've ever seen. But Cleo just reminded me that Needlework Expo is happening now. And I pre-ordered a couple of things from my local needle shop that I have learned about through FlossTube. Stitchers, etc. Or Stitchers Inc. Look, this is horrible. I can't even remember. It's Stitchers, and it's in Memphis. But I pre-ordered a couple of things through there. And one of the things that I pre-ordered is Bendy Stitchy's Cleocatra. because Cleo's name is Cleocatra. Literally, it's Cleocatra. Clawdia's name is the name she came with, but it's spelled like Clawdia, like C-L-A-W, Clawdia. And it's funny because she's the sweetest little thing ever. When she tries to kill a bug, she does this. So we wanted something punny because Cleo was Snuggles, and that she's like a killer. Death to the things. And so we picked Cleocatra because it's funny. We can call her Cleo for short. But when I saw Michelle show that pattern on her FlossTube, I was like, so I pre-ordered it. I'm really excited to get it and stitch it, but that means I need to come up with something for Clawdia. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But I'm really excited about that. And I think that's all. So thank you guys so much for watching another FlossTube. If you have any questions for me about anything, things you want to know about me, whatever, put those in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a like, subscribe. I'd love it. And thank you again to everybody who has done that. I was really surprised that I had subscribers. People want to listen to my craziness. But that's all. So we will see you hopefully next week. Bye.